At 22 minutes past 8, the government has called an urgent meeting with Royal Mail after an undercover investigation into postal scams took place. The Daily Mail says it's uncovered a criminal network that makes millions of pounds scamming vulnerable people in the UK.
The newspaper claims that members of the network boasted about being able to take advantage of Royal Mail's discounted bulk postage rates and were able to make use of Royal Mail branding on their envelopes to make their letters look more genuine.
Let's speak to Marilyn Baldwin now, who's been campaigning on this issue for almost 10 years after her late mother, Jessica, was a victim of postal scamming. Tell us a little bit about your mum. What happened to her? What was her experience and your experience through that?
Well, my mother died in 2007. 5 years before she died, she received a letter telling her she'd won a competition and all she had to do to claim the prize was send off a small fee. So she did this, and as a result, her name got put on a suckers list. This list was then traded amongst other criminal gangs, and over a 5-year period, my mother was delivered around 30,000 criminal letters. We tried to explain to her that it wasn't genuine, that it was all a scam, but the psychology is so powerful that we couldn't get through to her. She basically believed that these people, she'd got solicitors, she'd got clairvoyants, she'd got banking officials, lottery officials, and they created this delusional world that became her reality and blocked out anybody who was trying to make her see the truth. So it basically became her life. And because she wasn't diagnosed as having a mental illness, we couldn't redirect her mail. We couldn't. Nobody would help. I contacted the police, trading standards, Royal Mail. For a year, I rang the Royal Mail to say today she's had 30 letters delivered. And so it just went on and on and on.
And what was she doing with all these letters? She was, what, reading them, responding to them?
Yes, she was opening, reading, responding. It became her life, and nobody would help. There was no help. The only help I got was lip service, saying, tell her if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. I mean, the Royal Mail were delivering it in bundles tied up with, you know, those thick red elastic bands. It was being delivered in great big bundles. The postman said, it's not unique to your mother. There's loads of pensioners being targeted that are getting these volumes.
Royal Mail have sent us a lengthy statement in response to what's been printed in the Daily Mail. Let me read a part of it to you. We devote considerable resources to tackling this issue. In 2014, we set up a joint initiative with the National Trading Standards Scams team to create a new, improved process for terminating the contracts of companies that send fraudulent mail. We have a dedicated reporting system for both employees and customers to identify and to stop scam mail. Do you appreciate that they are in a tricky position and they can't be in complete control of everything that comes through the letterbox? Well,
actually, they can be in control to a degree. What these criminals are doing, they're branding their letters with what's called the local look. If you go onto the Daily Mail website, you'll see it. And this is the service that the Royal Mail offer. Now, criminals are using this to make the mail look like it's originated from the UK, even though it can be coming from anywhere in the world. The Royal Mail now need to clamp down on that service and not supply this to criminals.
Are you encouraged, the government are calling an urgent meeting with Royal Mail about this, are you encouraged that something might change?
This has been going on for years. I mean, if you visit the Think Jessica website, I've been to countless meetings with the Royal Mail. This isn't a new problem that they've just flagged up and discovered. We've got the OFT in 2008 were reporting victims getting 100 scam letters a day. Victims we've had committing suicide, we've had them attempting suicide, we've had them selling their houses. It's all on the Think Jessica website. Anybody who thinks this isn't a problem and thinks that it's a new problem should look at the DVDs on our website, because I've been on every national television programme flagging this up, the seriousness of this.
Really, really briefly, if the people finding them in the same sort of situation that you are, what can they do? How can they help their relatives, do you think?
Well, it's very difficult if they're in the same situation as I was, and that the relative is so brainwashed to a degree by these scammers that they won't cooperate. Yeah. They're left to the mercy of the organised criminal gangs. And another thing is the Royal Mail are threatening to cancel contracts. They're not actually cancelling them, and they're giving the chance for the victims, the criminals to start up new contracts.
Marilyn Baldwin, thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you.
Royal Mail has been accused of allowing thousands of fraudulent letters to be sent to vulnerable recipients. The Daily Mail newspaper found the letters are sent with Royal Mail branding to a target list of elderly victims, some of whom have lost tens of thousands of pounds. Nick Wallace has the details.
sticker here if you've been specially selected to receive one, and I've been selected to receive it.
A vulnerable woman targeted through her mail by criminals. Jessica Look died in 2007 at the age of 83 after receiving 30,000 scam letters, which eventually cheated her out of £50,000. Jessica's daughter says this has to stop.
If it carries the Royal Mail stamp, it actually does look like it's originated from the UK. It's deception. And you cannot trace the senders of this mail. And once you've sent your money off, once they've got you in their clutches, literally, they will destroy the lives. They've already done it to my mother, but they're doing it to thousands and thousands of people now.
Scam letters are sent by criminals, usually based abroad, to companies who use the Royal Mail delivery service and envelopes which carry Royal Mail branding. At the moment, it's illegal for any intermediary to open another person's mail, which makes it difficult to spot a scam without hard evidence that something bogus is going on. The former pensions minister says that's not good enough.
It shouldn't be too difficult for Royal Mail to at least introduce random checks and see for themselves what kind of material they're sending out.
Royal Mail has told ITN it doesn't knowingly distribute mail from fraudsters, and it has terminated contracts where companies have been proven to be operating scam mail. It's too late for Jessica Look, but campaigners say thousands of vulnerable people continue to be scammed, and the Royal Mail could be doing more. Nick Wallace, ITV News.
How do you make sure that it's okay legally then, what you do?
It's a very, very good question. It's great, you say.
You know, the market is called opportunity seekers, and opportunity seekers, they have a habit, maybe. It's obvious that people who heavily buy these products that might suffer from an illness, and then there would be you might see it from a economical point of view and say, well, I don't care as long as it's turnover. But when you have only one customer with such a low turnover per sale, this customer can create a lot of trouble, and that's not worth it to overdo it. So then you might get complaints, you might get a case, and why dealing with these negative effects if you can avoid?
Yeah, sure.
And that line is quite you know. You want to sell the product, and then you have, then you tend to better, you more you lie, the better it sells, but you run the risk that it's misleading.
What about you? What does your company do?
Storage mailing is worldwide.
Okay.
It's mainly females.
Really?
Yes. Above 60.
Above 60?
Yes.
Yeah. Why is it so popular?
Because it works. You can say anything. Just limited by your imagination.
Really?
So we actually sitting there in our meetings and thinking of crazy stuff to sell.
Really? Think up stories and...
Yes. The business itself, it's a bit not very nice always, because it tends to rip off the people, but the people doing it are very nice. So just the opposite somehow.
Strange, isn't it?
Yeah, very strange.
Do you feel like that about it? Do you think it's like you say it's ripping people off?
Yes, but it's pure marketing.
Yeah.
It's selling something for an upscale price. So it's not just it's true. People pay for something that's more dramatic, not much of it. It's pure capitalism. It's pure marketing. much ripping off people, but really reaping the profits. It's 5 years, it's a little bit like the mafia reunion worldwide.
Really?
It's a very, very close shop business.
Really?
Only the people you see here around, it's a whole industry.
Really? Why so close?
It's good to we profit from each other, and we are competitors, but we exchange problems. So we swap names a lot. We always go where the others are. So nobody's on his own.
He was saying don't have mailboxes in the UK, just forget about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
It's the same in Germany, or?
No, Germany is safe.
Yeah.
They don't care that much.
How do you make sure that it's okay legally then, what you do?
That's a very, very good question. It's grey, you say.
It's great.
It's grey. It's a grey area. It really depends on the country where you are. You just have to develop a feeling what is still real worth getting dangerous. There's special problems. Astrology is different.
Yeah.
Astrology is crazy. Every newspaper attorney reading a mailing, esoteric mailing, nobody thinks this is crazy stuff. How can an intelligent person buy this product? So it's so far-fetched and so far away.
Yeah.
So I think it's very difficult to make a case.
Is it difficult to?
Yes, to prove that there's something wrong.
Right. How do you make sure that it's okay legally then, what you do?
My ability to pour my beautiful talent to sell to people who don't need it. It's hard to be proud of it, but well, I'm good at it. I'm a proud whore. And all you got to do is just touch them the right way. Starting with the envelope.
Yeah. Wow.
He knows all his stuff.
Certainly does.
He's a great writer.
Very passionate. Yeah.
I'm passionate about my prostitution. My ability to pour my beautiful talent to sell to people who don't need it. It's hard to be proud of it, but well, I'm good at it. I'm a proud whore.
There's a certain section of the red light for you.
Exactly. We are in the red light district of direct mail. We are truly. That's where you come into.
I know. Yeah. I feel like I've wandered into this.
Welcome. Willkommen. Our industry gets a lot of bad press, you know, because this is junk mail.
Yeah.
Let's face it, to educated people, this is junk mail. Educated people don't even look at this stuff. This goes in the bin, right?
But they obviously work.
Yep. But then again, that's what I'm saying about the demographics, right?
Yeah.
People who read tabloids and get sucked into that stuff, you know, that is the people who enjoy these products. You know, they get sucked in. They're actually, you know, just people who love to just be taken away into a fantasy, right? And so these offers are actually, they tap that part of people, you know. You want to be taken away into fantasy? Let's let's go in the $1 million fantasy. Let's talk about that, you know, get you attached to it, right? I mean, when you identify someone as an opportunity buyer, which is what this all is, it's like certainly that person is more susceptible to that pitch, right?
Very old people, and these are the people that are going to read mailings because they've got the time. Like that, they all swap names.
Right.
Because they know that people, they buy one product here, the other product there. These are the most valuable customers you can get because they buy everything everywhere.
Really?
Really.
So, what kind of people do they tend to be? Are they...
The customers?
Yeah.
Elderly people.
How elderly?
Depending on the product you sell, if you have astrology products, you would be starting 50 plus. We have a lot of list owners who help business. They have an average age of the customers, which is about, I don't know, 72, 74.
That's the average?
The average age.
Oh, really? So some of them...
Very old people. And these are the people that are going to read mailings because they've got the time. And they're going to read this mail from the first to the last sentence, and no matter what kind of mail they receive, they have time. They have time. They're accustomed to read, and they're accustomed to order things by post. And that's the most important part of names that you have.
You said the average age is 72, so some of them presumably are quite old and, you know, perhaps not, you know, mentally capable. Is that...
Sometimes you do receive letters from people, from relatives of people who are not capable of taking care of their own business anymore.
Right.
And you just block them or delete them from your mailing list, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe they bought something, then you have to return it or whatever, but it's not really a problem.